Hey everyone, have you ever been in the middle of a laugh and just stopped to think, wait, why is that funny? I mean, really funny. Well, today we are going to dive deep into that very question. We're cracking open Henri Bergson's amazing essay on the meaning of the comic.
I know, it sounds so simple, doesn't it? But what makes something funny? That's a massive philosophical puzzle. What is that secret ingredient? What's the one thing that triggers a laugh?
You know, Bergson himself said that all the great thinkers, from Aristotle on down, have tried to solve this little problem and just couldn't. He knew he was wading into some seriously deep water, and yet he came up with a theory so powerful, so compelling, that here we are, over a century later, still talking about it.
All right, so here's how we're going to break it down. We'll start with the puzzle of laughter, then look at 3 key observations Bergson made. After that, we'll hit his main idea, the mechanical on the living, see it in action, and finally figure out laughter's real social purpose.
So yeah, we're starting with this enduring puzzle. What makes Bergson's take on it so unique? Well, instead of just sitting in an armchair and thinking about it, he decided to be more like a scientist. He went out to observe laughter in its natural habitat, which, for laughter, is always with other people and society.
Okay, so before he just gives us the answer, Bergson lays out 3 crucial clues, like a detective. He noticed that for us to find something funny, a very specific set of conditions has to be met. Let's dig into what those are.
So he boils it down to 3 fundamental things that have to be in place for laughter to even happen.
Okay, first up, the comic is exclusively human. You don't laugh at a beautiful sunset, right? And if you laugh at a dog wearing a funny hat, it's not the hat itself. It's because it reminds you of a person. Second, and this is a big one, laughter requires an absence of feeling. You can't feel sympathy for someone and find their situation funny at the same time. Emotion is kind of the enemy of comedy. And third, laughter is social. It's meant to be shared. It needs an echo. We laugh together.
Let's stick with that second point for a sec, the absence of feeling, because it's so important. Bergson has this incredible phrase for it, a momentary anesthesia of the heart. It's like your emotions just go numb for a second. Think about it. If you see someone fall and you feel their pain, that's drama. But if you can detach, if you can just be a spectator, well, then it could be comedy.
All right, now we get to the core of it all. After laying out all the clues, Bergson finally gives us the big reveal. This is the aha moment. The key that unlocks the entire mystery of laughter.
Here it is. The secret ingredient to everything comic is, and I quote, something mechanical encrusted on the living. That's it. We laugh whenever we see the normal, fluid, adaptable nature of a human being suddenly get interrupted by something rigid, automatic, and machine-like. It's that clash, the living versus the mechanical.
The perfect example is the classic slip on a banana peel. Imagine a guy running down the street. He's all grace, all fluidity. That's life, right? Then, whoops, he trips. Suddenly his body isn't his own anymore. It's just a thing, acting on momentum, like a clumsy machine. Now, assuming he's not hurt, why do we laugh? We laugh at that sudden rigidity, that mechanical inelasticity that just got slapped onto a living person.
And what's so brilliant about this one single idea is how it explains almost every kind of comedy, from simple slapstick right up to the most clever, character-based humor. It all comes back to this one principle.
So, Bergson gives us a couple of great analogies. First up, the jack-in-the-box. You know the toy. You push it down and it just springs right back up. It's this simple, repetitive, mechanical fight.
Now, Bergson says you see this exact same thing in comedy all the time. Think about a character who has a verbal tic, or some kind of obsession. There's this character in Molière's play The Miser who just can't stop bringing up money. No matter what anyone is talking about, he interrupts with something about no dowry. It's this mechanical idea that just keeps popping up again and again, no matter how many times it's pushed down. It's a human jack-in-the-box.
Okay, his next analogy is another toy, the puppet on a string. And this one helps explain why we find it so funny when one character manipulates another. Right. Think about any comedy where a clever character is totally tricking a clueless one. The person being tricked thinks they're making all their own choices, but we, the audience, can see the strings. We see how they're being played. And why is that funny? Because a living, breathing person is being reduced to a mindless mechanical puppet.
This whole idea of mechanical rigidity also shows us a huge difference between tragedy and comedy. Tragedy is about individuals, real complex people. That's why they get proper names like Othello or Hamlet. But comedy Comedy is often about types. It's about a single, rigid flaw that defines a person. And that's why you get titles like the miser or the misanthrope. It's not about a person, it's about a category of person.
But okay, here's where it gets really interesting. For Bergson, laughter isn't just about amusement. It's not just for fun. He argues that it has a serious, even vital purpose for society.
He calls laughter a social gesture. Basically, it's a kind of signal. It's a message that the group sends to one of its members. So, what's the message?
The message is simple: straighten up. You see, society needs us to be flexible, adaptable, and paying attention. Anytime someone is too rigid, too automatic, too absent-minded, that mechanical inelasticity, it kind of threatens the smooth running of things. So what does society do? It laughs. Laughter is the little social punishment we use to correct that behavior. It's a social corrective, kind of like an ancient feedback loop, way before we had likes and retweets.
But Bergson leaves us with one last, kind of haunting thought. He says that on the surface, laughter is light and sparkly, like sea foam. But if you actually gather it up and look at what it's made of, the core ingredient is often a little bit of humiliation. Its purpose is to correct, and being corrected can sting. It has a bitter aftertaste. It really makes you wonder, doesn't it, that what seems like our most joyful, carefree expression might actually have a very serious and very heavy purpose.